Well, I've talked to you about this, haven't I? Haven't I talked to you about this? And we've gone through and gone. You could just target base players' websites. You could target people who like Victor Wooten's Facebook page, and then you just show
Yes, yeah,
them.
yeah. I know about the
And you
Facebook
okay,
target.
and you do it, and you say it's really simple. You just click a link and say to view the rest of this. You put a link in and say to view the rest of this, go to my YouTube channel. So you're advertising. It's the same as if you had $1 million and you say, someone's given me $1 million and they've told me to go and do ads on television, TV ad breaks between CSI Miami. And you go, cool, here's a 60-second or a 30-second snippet, and you can find more at thebasis.net, which would never work because no one's going to go to the trouble of doing it. But when you do it on Facebook, they're on their phone. So they've already spent the last 5 years watching Victor Wooten stuff going, I love this type of bass playing, and I love the way Victor Wooten is informational and discussional and blah, 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 or whoever it is, whatever your example is. And they've gone through and they've spent 5 years feeding Facebook the algorithm, I like this type of content. So all you do is create targeted content that shows you being awesome for 30 to 60 seconds that says, if you want to find out more about this stuff, come and watch me on YouTube. And then you just set the ad manager up to target the people who you already know are going to like that stuff. You don't boost it to the people who have already liked Jayme Lewis and the Basis. You don't send it to, you specifically say, I only want this ad to show up in people's feed who have clicked on Victor Wooten's site so many times. And that target audience then might get dwindled down to 5,000 people because they're like, well, if you want people who have liked his page, there's 100,000 people. But if you want like the real people who are interactive with that page, there's only like 5 to 10,000. You're cool. Just show my ad to those guys. And that would cost you a couple $100. And then they follow then they go and now you've got them. They've gone and they've moved over. And you can actually figure out how to feed. You can actually get Facebook to say, this is how dope it is. Facebook will actually say, what's your objective? My objective is to get people to click this link to go to my YouTube channel. Cool. We won't charge you until someone pushes the button. And because we're Facebook and we know who's going to push the button, so we're going to charge you. We're going to put the ad in front of the people who we think are going to push the button. And if and when they push the button, then we're going to charge you for that ad. Mm. And then you just have to learn how to run the algorithm.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, if you're talking about figuring out how to take what you already have and just make more money off it, that's why Facebook, that's what you should be learning. Mm. Because that's key. And from what I've learned, I mean, you and I talk about it all the time. We're fans of, hey, look at all those fucking idiots in whatever business that are doing shit that worked 10 years ago and they haven't changed. That's how people look at us when they think about Facebook advertising, because they're like, well, people don't trust Facebook and Facebook sucks, but you're still on it. Oh, well, there's fake news and there's this and that, but you're still on it. And in between every Facebook fake news ad, then a video comes up of Victor Wooten or the new Breaking Benjamin single featuring Lacey or the new Shim, whatever you're following, whatever you've told Facebook, I really like that. They're popping it in your feed. So between every ad, they're popping in something that they know you. They're not fucking stupid. They're putting the ads in between the shit that you like. And you're doing this. You're just doing that. All day long, just that, until finally you stop on something. And I'm telling you, dude, it's dope. If you do this, if you go like that, right? You're on your phone, and you go, stop. Now, Facebook saw that. That 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. And then they put them in a different pile. And they go, well, John X from Omaha watched your video for 3 seconds. So if you wanted to send him and everyone else who watched the video for 3 seconds, if you'd like to send it to him a second time, we can just send it to those people. Because they might have just been on the bathroom toilet. They might have been interrupted by their kid. They might have to get back to work. But they want to see it. You just got to send it to them again. There's so much shit you can do. And that's why the moment that we discovered The moment that you and I found out. Hi, everyone who's watching, by the way.
Hi, friend.
Thank you. Thanks for that sub, Vera. The moment that we discovered that we were going to start jamming music online the way that we're doing, the first conversation I had was, can we make little videos like what we talked about, specifically for that reason? Because I can post it on my page and be like, hey, here's a cool thing that I'm doing on Twitch. This is great. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make your own video out of when you're going slappity bappity bippity boo.
Exactly like that.
Exactly like that. It's going to sound as slappity bappity bippity boo. And then you're going to take that ad and you're going to send it to people who like to hear the slappity bappity bippity boo. And they're going to go, wow, look at that slappity bappity bippity boo. I'm going to click the link. And it's already done. They're already seeing something cool. Layout cool, interactive. Maybe you're going to get lucky and they're going to go, oh, that's the guy from Sick Puppies. I really like that. Who's that guy? He's slappity bappity bippity boo. I like slappity boo and I like Sick Puppies. Fucking, I'm in. Let's click Jayme's site. Check it out. Because Shim just vouched for him. That's not going to be a big deal, but there's a lot that you can get out of the situation. So like, that's why when I sent you the videos on Facebook marketing, it's because you, of all people, will dive into it and go, because here's the thing. I remember you just said, the reason that it peaked to me is because it was what's the word? It was explained in this way with the metaphor of a slot machine, right? And there are two ways to look at it. Most people look at social media advertising as a slot machine. Mm-hmm. But if you learn how to work it correctly, which takes a lot of time, it actually acts like a vending machine where you put money in and you get something out. And it's a transactional thing. And it's the first time in history that advertising has worked that way because it's like what's that company that used to they would gather TV show ratings by putting boxes in a handful of people's television sets. Nielsen. Yeah. Nielsen is on every phone. Every single thing. They know exactly how popular it is. They know exactly how much everything. They know everything about it. So all you need to do is figure out how to get that information and use it to sell your product. And you're not doing anything wrong. You're literally providing a service to people more efficiently because you're saying, I've got these great bass lessons. They're fucking amazing. Like they're all there waiting for you. All you have to do is push this button and put in your credit card information for a fraction of the cost because I'm going to give you this amazing discount code if you do all these things. And I know you want it. And you're not doing the fucking sleazy salesman thing in the commercial in front of a used car saying, I know you want it. You're actually saying, I know you want it because Facebook told me you want it because you've been watching this shit for 5 years. You want what I got. Push this button. You just have to find them and shove it down their fucking throat. Just shove it. Just be like, look, this is what you've been looking for. You've been looking for me and I just started looking for you. You're just not looking for them. You're posting the stuff and doing the stuff. And it's just what? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments on this stuff for a second. We're just having a little chat.
Having fun.
Just having a little chat because yeah, we're just talking about how to take what the conversation started because basically every musician in the world is broke now. And every person who doesn't realize, people are watching people make music or do live streams or do anything, not realizing that we're broke. They're like, oh yeah, but you do this for fun, right? It's like, no, you go on tour. This is our profession. They don't look at it like it's our profession. And so, Jayme, what was your post?
So a couple days ago, I got out a whiteboard for myself. And I just wrote down some things. I did a pros and cons list. I was like, should I quit everything that I'm doing right now? Should I quit professional music, YouTube, Twitch, my company, thebasis.net, my podcast? Like, pros and cons. Should I leave this world that I've existed in for 2 decades and pursue something else? And so on the yes, you should leave side, there were lots and lots and lots of reasons. Like, things that pretty much every musician can relate to, like can't afford my rent, can't afford my health insurance, don't even have another paycheck, can't gig, can't tour, all the things. Just go down the list. And then on the On the prose side, I wrote, I love it. Because I love doing what I do. And for my whole life, I've done it and sacrificed. And that's what got me, that's the reason why I posted it, because I wanted to hear from my other friends, my other career musician friends, and be like, hey, how many of you are asking questions like this right now? Going, is it really worth it? Is what I'm sacrificing and what I'm giving up, like it's always been worth it, but now it's 2020 and the world is as it is it still worth it?
Yeah.
Are the sacrifices still worth it? And honestly, do you want to know where this really stemmed from?
Where?
My wife's dad died 2 months ago. All right. And I put together the what's it called?
Eulogy?
No, not the eulogy. The slideshows, like anything that was video, because that's what happens. Everyone pitches in to make a funeral service happen. So I do all the video stuff, and so I'm putting together these slideshows, man.
Yeah.
Of pictures of Alan from 1970 until now. Pretty much the kids, raising the kids, and the grandkids, right? Like the last 40 years of his life.
Right.
And I'm seeing picture after picture of Christmas, because I've been with my wife for 17 years, since 2003. Right. So I'm looking at these photos and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Christmas. That's somebody's birthday. That's this and that. I'm looking at all these pictures, right? From decades ago.
Right.
And then I'm in one of them.
Right.
I'm in one picture.
Right.
It's the family trip to Wisconsin. That's right. And everyone's there. And my wife is standing by herself. Yeah. I was in Colorado at that time. I was on tour. And the same thing, the birthday party. Yeah. I was gigging. I had a Sunday night, a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Like I couldn't take off a night. And of course, birthday party, Sunday night. I missed it. So I'm looking at all of these events over the course of Alan's life. And I'm like, shit. What's my slideshow going to be like? I'm not in any of their photos.
Yeah.
I'm gone. I'm working all the time.
Yeah.
Always traveling. And so, again, up until you don't think about these things until you look back, you look at the paper trail and you write it down. That's why I did a pros and cons list. And I'm like, everything I'm sacrificing is so that, because I love it, but I am really sacrificing. And so are you. And so is anyone who's in the entertainment, whether it's music or magician, dancer, like whatever form of entertainment you're doing, you are sacrificing big time to do this thing that you're good at.
I think that's the thing that now that as you're saying it, it's like the thing that people don't realize, right? We don't think about it when we're on our side. Other people don't think about it when they're on the opposite side. People would look at someone like, and I think this is why people were, I don't know, taken aback or not shocked, but like surprised at the fact that you would consider this, because they look at someone like you and me and they go, they're living their dream. They envy us. They're living their dream, right? They don't, and they look at us and they go, they don't have to make the sacrifices that we make. We make different sacrifices.
Yeah.
They're like, I have to sacrifice my dream so that I can work a job. Why? So I can raise my kids, or I can stay with my wife, or I can enjoy beer with friends on the weekends and the holidays. Musicians don't get holidays. That's magic. When we work.
It's magic. Being in a room with thousands of heartbeats and eyeballs, like there's something about they're all listening, or they're all a part of it, or they're all singing along. Like, yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm not complaining at all.
No. It's just
I'm saying out loud.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm giving up, and here's what I'm getting in return. And when I looked at what I'm getting in return, especially now, in 2020, getting dick.
Yeah. Now we're getting nothing.
I'm getting the shaft.
But I think the thing that's interesting that you're bringing up is that you don't, and why so many musicians probably chimed in on your post, is because you don't, when you have live shows and when you have a tour, or you just have feedback, when you have feedback, which is really the juice. The juice is you're jamming with musicians. That's the juice. You're putting it out to people and getting feedback. That's the juice. That compensates for the other sacrifices. It does. It compensates. And you get to say things like to the people that you love and the people that you leave behind, and experiences that you miss that everyone else takes for granted. Playing, like, people, you see other parents sitting in the backyard having a cigar and a scotch or whatever their shit is, you know.
Going to the baseball game.
And it's going to the baseball game and the stuff that they're like, well, it's the weekend, this is what you do. We don't do that. We go to work. We're sitting in a back room having a decent time, you know, having a good time, but we're missing that other experience. So it's the same on either side. If someone in the backyard is like, oh, I'd love to be a rock star, and after you've seen enough fucking green rooms that smell like piss and beer, you're like, I'd love to be in my backyard with the sunshine.
Have either air conditioning or heaters or whatever it is that you need. They don't have it. Yeah.
And you look at it and you go, oh, but it's rock and roll. Don't you love it? And you're like, no, actually, if you did it for a couple of weeks, you'd realize it's actually it's one of the tiny sacrifices amongst a larger amount of sacrifices. But you deal with it because you go, you get the juice. You get the jamming with friends and bands, and you get the juice of doing a live show and being able to say that you're following your purpose. When that's taken away, then now the sacrifices far outweigh the juice. And
that's what's got me thinking about it.
Yeah.
Or just asking the question. Like I said, I'm not thinking about quitting. I'm asking the question because at any other point in time, the answer was an easy, of course it's worth it.
Yeah.
Of course it is, because I can always go gig and I can always go work and I can always bring money in. This is the first time where I can't go anywhere to make money. My only option is the internet. And even right there, that was correct. That's not my only option. The UFC is 2 miles down the road. I could get a job doing video, audio, any kind of production, camera work, anything in AV. Because I do it.
Yeah.
I'm a professional, apparently.
That's the thing. Like,
when I'm like, oh, there's nothing I can do, actually,
there's always other stuff
that I've never considered, which is leave all of this and go do something else. Yeah. And if I did, I could leave on a good note. I've done everything except make $1 million in music. I did it all.
Yeah.
Or a platinum record, but I never sought out to do that either. But I didn't do any of those two things, the things that bring you in money, apparently.
Yeah.
You know, but I would be leaving on a win. I would be leaving as I don't know. It was a thought experiment, just a question. But I was really interested. Number one, by the response of other musicians who were saying the same exact thing every day. Every day this year, I've woken up going, why am I doing this? Is it going to get any better? Should I change careers? And I'm sure teachers are thinking the same thing. I'll bet if you work at the bank, you're thinking the same thing. Everyone's kind of asking right now.
Yeah, but it's funny,
like, the right thing?
No, but that's the interesting thing when you're talking about people in other professions. They'd look at it and go, well, teaching or any of the jobs that have been taken away. People would look at musicians and go, but this is what you do. Like, you're not going to, you know, and the catchphrase is you go and you move to you go and you buy the farm. Well, you can't buy the farm. No one's got any money.
Right.
Things are different now. But they'd look at musicians and actors or anyone who's creative in a creative art, and they go, oh, but that's what we know you as. When you're a teacher or a chef or any other profession, the concept of, oh, they've gone and they've started a new career, or they had to get another job. It's just like, they had to get another job. They had to do something else. They had to pivot. People don't think about it with musicians. It's like, wait, you're going to go and do something totally different? Like, this is because you wear your heart on your sleeve and you do music, and it's like tied in to who you are, and it's how people know you.
And some people will just respond and be like, well, what's so wrong with getting a day job? You can always do that in the evening or in the day, and like, you can always still have music and do this. And exactly what you just said. No, I couldn't do that. No. Imagine this. Imagine I've been married to my wife for 10 years. So what if after 10 years of being together, we decided, you know what, let's go our separate ways. But instead of moving out, I'll just move down the hall. We'll stay in the same house, same street. She'll bring her new boy toy home, and I'll just sleep in the room down the corner. Like, could you do that? Could you do? Of course not. You would move to a different house, a different city, different state, new friends, new circle. Like, you can't. I couldn't dip my toe in this. I'm too connected. It is who I am. It's what I've been my whole, not just adult life, my childhood. Right.
And if you're going to cut, you're going to cut and run.
The Band-Aid off, bro. There's not going to be, I can't. Yeah. It'd be too hard. It would be too hard. Emotionally. You know what I mean?
No, you're talking to me, man. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. But but the truth is that if it comes down to a decision of doing this or feeding your family, you don't really, if the choice was, well, you can't make the mortgage in Vegas, by doing what you're doing, you don't get to choose. You're like, you know, seriously, if you get a fucking letter from someone saying it's been the second month you haven't paid your mortgage, we're going to start taking action. You're like, you just peace out, quick little text to everyone. Sorry guys, I'll let you know whenever I'm going to be back, but I got to go work at UFC. Yeah. Yep. You're like, what? Why, Jayme? Why? You're like, because they're going to take my fucking house.
Well, and that's the thing. Some people came back like, man, you can weather this storm. You can hang in there. Like,
I don't get it.
Math. You don't know math.
Yeah.
When you run out, you're done.
Yeah.
There is no weathering the storm. There is no more money coming. We only have what we have, and we can only use what we use. And when we've depleted that,
it's gone.
And that's the thing. And I don't want to say, no, I'm going to phrase it differently. I will never let it get to that point.
Right.
I will have jumped ship.
That'll be the difference. I guess that'll be the difference between you and me.
Won't say anything.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, we both know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. I wouldn't, and that's the reason why. Again, months in advance, I'm putting this thought out there. Like,
So that's the thing. Yeah, it's months. It's months we have to work with.
Like I said, I've put a date.
Yeah.
Out there in the universe.
Yeah.
It's up here.
It's up there, and it's not going, and it's not, and no one's gonna know about it.
And I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my best work, and that's the reason why I don't feel bad about this. At any other point in time, I'd probably feel like a failure if I had to give this life up, you know. But again, like, it's not my fault. Any restaurant that's closing right now, it's not your fault. Any small business, school, like whatever you did. Everyone who's listening, like, if you're in trouble right now, if you're self-employed and your business is in trouble, it's probably not because of you. And if you close your doors, it'll be sad and it'll be hard and it'll be tough. But
it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
And that counts for something. Has to count for something. You know. So I mean, that's kind of my only. It's the reason why I'm not scared. I actually feel really, really good right now. You know, given how dire the situation is for everyone, not just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I said, it's a thought I've never entertained before, but I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
I'm entertaining it now because we are where we are and things are the way that they are. And what's getting better?
And what's getting better? No, it's not getting better.
What's getting better? So that means I sit around and twiddle my thumbs and hope they get better, or I make them get better.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's my choice. And you're right. Yeah, the Facebook thing, I've neglected it.
Well,
sure.
that's why I wanted to bring it up with you now, because you're talking about, especially now we have a great little left turn in the Jayme Lewis saga. What we have now are stakes, ladies and gentlemen. We have stakes because Jayme Lewis is going to quit the music business at an undisclosed time. At an undisclosed time, if he doesn't see a specific type of result. And we're not talking about making $1 million. We're not talking about bitches and bling. We're talking about being able to pay your nut and be able to. I think what we're talking about is we're talking about the same thing that everyone else is talking about. Pay your nut and be able to put something into your savings account. It's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask when you work as hard as you and I do, and you're as good as you are. So. So like to say, all right, I'm going to set a time and I'm going to set an objective and go, I'm going to do everything that I can. So now we have stakes. But I've been able to learn in the last 6 months, the moment that it was really interesting for me, because I saw at the beginning of this year, before COVID hit, I started off this year, I made a couple of major decisions, and I was like, I'm going to figure out Facebook marketing, because I think that that's going to be the thing that will shift my career into a different direction. And right now, my career...
Let me pause you. The only reason I'm hesitant about jumping into it the way that you did is because I've had that same exact feeling and those same exact thoughts 500 times about something else that I've tried out over the past 5. No, I've been doing this 12 years. The YouTube thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried all of them. I've thrown money at it, advertising, this, that. Every time it lands me right back here.
No, I understand. Well, that's a good point. Well,
so I'm not saying that that means don't try it, but it's the reason why it's at the bottom of my list.
Right. Well,
it's at the bottom of my list because it's feels like a Hail Mary for me.
When you would do it, well, a Hail Mary is usually the thing. That's the third act of the story, and it sounds like we're at the third act, mate. So,
but it's not my first Hail Mary.
But it could be your last.
You're absolutely correct. You're right. But that's the thing. It's not my first Hail Mary because I've always had gigs. Always had work.
So what's to stop you from, you don't want to be a guy in his 50s and 60s that's still at the fucking Vegas Strip plodding along to some other guy's bullshit cover songs. You just don't want to be that guy that's still doing gigs to make the rent?
It's not that. It's that I don't think I'll make it to the point where I can.
When
is it going to open up? 22, 21, 23? It doesn't matter. It's too far away. I can't.
You won't be able to you can't pay your bills until the gigs open up.
And that's the hard thing is like I left California because we couldn't afford it. So we came to Nevada where we could prosper. And 1 month in, we couldn't, because COVID happened.
Right.
And so it's, fuck, man, we got all of our ducks lined up. It was going to work. I swear to God, it was going to work.
Right.
And it did.
But that's
so many people have.
Isn't that the same fucking story? That is the same story for everyone. Everyone, John McClane had plans.
Got to dinner, have a few laughs. Yeah, you're right. John
McClane had plans, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not mad. I'm not depressed. I'm not upset. It's okay that this is happening because it is happening to virtually everyone. Virtually everyone. But I'm not going to go broke like everyone.
Yeah, you're refusing that outcome. I mean?
That's exactly. I'm not going to follow everyone just because everyone's doing it. I have to prosper. I've always figured it out, always made it work before. It's just the things I did before to figure it out are no longer an option.
Yeah.
Can't go play. I can't go play. I can't.
That's say you sound like a kid. I can't go play. I can't go outside. I can't go play.
Won't let me. But no, seriously. I mean, I feel like a kid. Yeah, totally. Like a kid is told what he can and can't do, and it's I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. If you're listening right now and you're a small business owner and the government called you and said, "Hey, stop! Don't let anyone in." Well, what about the rent? What about this? We'll get back to you. Click.
Yeah.
And here we are. So I mean, this is happening across the board, and here's the reason why I'm vocal about these things is because I don't want everyone to think we're okay.
Yeah, I can feel that, man.
We need to talk. You need to talk about what's going on, how things are, and be honest and be vocal, not to pity party. And I don't want your money. I don't want anyone to just come.
I do. I'm going on record. I want your money. I want your money
too, but
we're not saying that. You're saying the point. We're not having this conversation to try to scoop up the loose change so that people can be, oh, poor baby, here's your money. I'm like, we're doing everything. I think the thing is, we're doing everything that we're doing because this is our profession and this is how we make a living, and it's been given not a stigma, but it's been given a reputation that, like, because you're living your purpose and your dream, that is the substitute, that it's a perfect substitute for being broke. And it's not. It's not good enough. It's not enough. And it's not a pity party. And it's not I should look at what happened to me. It's just a fact. It's like, this is what we do. And there's people think that, like, Shinedown, Breaking Benjamin, yeah, okay, they're fine. They've got their money put away. People who are like, we're not them. So that's why they call them, you have fat years and lean years. When you're a professional musician, if you're doing what you do is different to what I do. But I write music for film and TV, and fucking Royal Bliss has a song on the radio now that I generate. Just cracked the top 40. What up? I make royalties from that. That's great. As soon as that song is not on the radio anymore, I don't make royalties from that. So there are times when, if you have a good year, you have a fat year. There are other times when you have a lean year. If I don't do a tour, if my record fucking tanks, if it does well, or it's up and down.
Yeah.
And people go, oh, but you're Shim from Sick Puppies, you had a hit. Or whatever it is. The hit was, like, if we're being real, like, I'm sorry, but let's actually be real. No one in bands would ever talk about it. They talk about, the hit was 10 years ago. It's beautiful and a blessing and it's great, and I still play it, and I'll fucking play it to the day I die because people want to hear it. But that hit doesn't make me the same money that it used to. That's why we do live streaming, VIP shows. You've got your Jayme Lewis, thebassist.net, which is a paid subscription service for people that want to learn bass. So we're talking about that sort of thing where people go, well, if someone had a crack, that's why I always think of the concept of a money back guarantee. If you have a crack in your ceiling, you need to call, so you need to take care of it, and you will pay for that ceiling to be fixed. And someone will come in, and if they do a shitty job, you're going to ask for your money back. Or if they come in and they look at it and they fucking put super glue up there and then it's still leaking and they're walking out the door and the leak is still there, you're going to go, I'm not paying you. You didn't do your job. So it's a profession. So that's why with my shows, it's like, cool, if you come and you give, if I provide you the service and you don't like it and it sucks, you should get your money back. But at the same time, the consumer should enter into the situation with the same level of respect where they go, well, hey, this guy just came over to my house to fix this thing. He's a tradie. He's paying his bills. He's one of the, good old boy just trying to make a living. But people don't look like you are on camera with a microphone and headphones with cool things behind you. You look expensive. You look fancy and rock star, man. You look great. You don't need my money.
I bought this shit 10 years ago when I had money. That's why. Well, and that's the other thing too, man. I got out the pencil and paper, bro. You're not wrong. I added up all the equipment that I have. If I sell everything, which I would if I had to quit, I would sell all my cameras, all my lenses, all my bases. I'm sitting on, I won't say it, a fuck ton of money. Especially because the instruments, I didn't pay for any of them. They gave them. So I would be fine. We would be fine if I stopped. It would. Yeah. If I stopped, sold everything, got a real job, we would be financially okay. Yeah. It would be fine. Yeah. It would. That's hard. It's hard to know that as a reality. Yeah. Every single time I get in here and I power this stuff out and I'm just like, okay.
Don't have to do it.
Is it worth it? Yeah. Is it bringing back enough? Because I could make out like a bandit right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be like, you can sell this stuff out. I totally get it. Maybe you shouldn't go and get my stuff out of storage. I don't want it to get lost in the mix of your fucking sale. By the way, everyone who's watching on Facebook right now, thank you for joining us. If you'd like to chat, please click the link that's in the description. Someone go to Facebook and throw up the link. Go and join us on Twitch. Come and watch on Twitch. We're supporting the Twitch and promoting the Twitch. That's where the Hollywood Rebellion lives.
Lady Gray wants to know, mentally, would you be fine, or would I miss it too much?
You balance it
again.
out.
I would have to leave it completely, and then I would be okay.
Yeah.
I could not go part-time. As I mentioned before, like, could you go part-time in your marriage? Could you divorce but stay in the same house as your spouse? In your old bedroom, they're getting it on, and you're down the hall, and everything's fine. It's
a metaphor. It's definitely a metaphor.
Like, there's no way. There's no way I could do that. Yeah. I would have to leave it, and then I would be okay. Eventually, a year, whatever it would take. But yeah, I would get. People get past stuff, but you don't get past it by staying in it and wishing it was better.
Yeah.
Like a divorce, like a marriage. Yeah, it's very, very similar. Like a band. Fuck, a lot of bands end that for that reason.
Dude, I remember being on tour with Shinedown and talking to Barry, the drummer from Shinedown, who is like the nicest fucking guy in the world, dude. And I was talking to him, and I was having a bad day in Sick Puppies, and I was just talking to him about stuff, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And I remember him telling me the thing that sort of shook me up. He was like, but what else are we gonna do? And I was like, anything
at all,
anything. Like there is a point where you go, like, and this is the weird thing. Bob Marlette is the name of an awesome producer who worked on all the Saliva stuff, and he's done Sheryl Crow records, and he's a really nice guy. And I remember talking to him one time when we were jamming. None of the songs I wrote with him ever made a record, just because they just didn't make the cut, because of probably my fault, me not being present and doing my job properly. But I remember him telling me, like, he moved into production because he was in bands, and he went on stage one day in front of thousands of people, and he put his bass on. And he walked out and he just said there was one show where I didn't feel it anymore, man. I was like, I'm done with this. I've had my time. I've done my thing, and it's time to do something else. And he never thought that day would come, and he did it. And now he's producing and doing his thing. He's pivoted to a different side of the music business, which is equally as satisfying as fun, as long as you can make a go of it. But everyone gets their point. My godfather, my grandfather was a jazz musician. He hit a point where he stopped touring. And he was like, look, it's great, but I'm like, he's 50. He doesn't want to get in a fucking car and drive around and do that shit anymore. He'll play the festivals that are around the corner from his house. Once every year, there's like one festival. He goes and plays a couple of days there. And then he would chart. I remember he would write charts. That's how fucking badass he was. He would be like, I'd walk in and he'd be jotting down stuff. And it'd look like he was writing in a diary. And I'd say, oh, what are you doing? He'd say, I'm just working on a song. And I'm thinking, if you're working on a song, you have a guitar and I can hear something. He's like, no, I'm just doing the trumpet section right now. He's doing
remember I used to transcribe your music sitting in traffic, coming to rehearsal?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. And then I remember seeing Brian do it on the way to the Summerfest show, where he put on headphones and was charting out All the Same, because it was like, I was like, we might play this, you might want to learn it. And so he learned it by charting it. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. You guys are awesome. But
whatever you got to do to learn.
Whatever you got to do to learn. That's what you just said. Whatever you got to do to learn. So go and learn that Facebook stuff, because you will latch onto it so hard, dude. Like, you'll look at it and go, wait a minute, I can reach all these people for $40, and there's going to be 1,500 people who are already spending money at that other site that I do better. You're going to say this and go, oh, Maybe. It's only $40. Once you figure out how to target them.
I don't know. Like I said, everything keeps coming back to, I'm not complaining. I'm not trying to have a pity party or woe is me. I mean, I hope I'm just calling it like it is.
No, but here's the thing. You are actually calling it exactly how it is. If you were in a different profession, everyone would probably sit down with you and go through your pros and cons list. If you were a plumber and you had a bunch of plumbing equipment and you had a brand that was like, well, we're in the phone book and people know how to find us, but I think I might be done. People would sit down and go, okay, cool. All right. You've had a good run as a plumber. What else you want to do? What else you got? People don't think it's an option with musicians. And the truth is, I know for me, I've had this conversation with my wife 2 times in my career when things got really bad. And she and management said the same thing. They were like, the cat, I think you said it when it was just like, you'll be back. You'll be back. I was like, dude, I'm out. I remember, yes. Yeah.
I remember having that conversation.
Yeah. And you were like, yeah, man, I get it. And you're like, I'm here for you. Call me anytime, but you'll be back.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, because I'm moving back to Australia. We're probably done. And I know enough about you. This is the reason why I worked. Okay, hold on. Let's do this. Let's go back to the night we met. Do you remember, Shim?
Oh, I think it was a crisp evening.
Either way, I had an interaction with you that was very normal for me.
Yeah.
I know that you had the opposite. For you met me and you're like, I need to get this guy in my camp. When you came over and saw me, you were just another person who comes to me after a show. I'm not bragging, but they come up and be like, hey, I'm working on a record. I'm doing a thing. Can I get you on it? And I go, yeah, here's my card. And I never hear from them ever again.
Right.
It's happened 10 trillion gajillion times.
Right.
It's how it always goes. Want me to play? Of course I will. Oh, you want a tour? Yeah, let's talk. We never talk.
Right.
It's just, that's how this business goes.
Yeah.
So you called me the next day and I was like, that's weird.
Right.
Okay, let's talk. And he goes, yeah, can I drive over? You want to come to my house? Okay. like you wanted this. You wanted me, for whatever reason, you wanted me to be a part of this, and you were going to do whatever it took to make it happen. And I saw that not just with getting me on board, but with your record, with the tours, with anything. I was like, oh, Shim gets it done or he dies trying. That's the type of person Shim is. And Shim, that's why we work.
Right.
Because I'm the same way.
Right.
Except I'm not going to die trying.
I actually will die.
With my second to last breath, I'm going to figure some shit out.
It's funny. Yeah, but that'd be the only difference. When you get to your second to last breath, you breathe. When I get to my last breath, I'm like, whoops, out.
Yeah, for sure. But that's, and that's why I said that to you. Because no matter how bad things get or no matter what happens, you will be back. There's no stopping you. There's no holding you back. You're going to win. You're going to win because that's the only option, you know?
No, it is.
But you're right. Yeah, I remember that.
No, the thing that I remember was, I think, do you remember at what point I said, I can't pay you?
Yeah.
Yeah, where was it, in your house or was it at the Starbucks?
Wait, like Starbucks like a year before touring?
Yeah, whenever the fuck it was, there was one point where there was a point. I had the conversation with everyone who I was looking to work with, and I said I'd start the conversation. I can't pay you. Do you remember when I told you? Where were we?
Yeah, it was probably at the Starbucks. Well, you asked me what I needed each week. You're like, how much would it be for you to come out? And I gave you the number, and you went, well, I don't have anything close to that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, what if you take like, $200-$300 off a week? Like, that's still too tough. You would have to be my tour manager. And I was like, of course.
Yeah.
I've TM'd like everything ever. I'll tour manage and play bass. And you're like, great. And right when we left that Starbucks, I called up my buddy Bill. He plays with Chicago. And I was like, hey, what's a tour manager do?
You had no fucking idea.
I had no clue. No fucking clue.
No, but that's the thing. That's what I loved. I remember being like,
a good tour manager? Did I not?
No, you were a great tour manager because that's what it took and you learned how to do it. But I remember going to the Starbucks and I think I had the conversation with Brian, Keenan, Powell, and you, and it always started the same way. Where I would sit down and I would be like, it wasn't that I couldn't pay you, but I knew that I couldn't pay you everyone. I couldn't pay you a fraction of what you were worth. So I knew, and I've worked with people where you have this big conversation about music. Hold on.
Let me pause you right there too. You're the second person to have ever say that to me in my life. I want to pay you what you're worth. One other person was able to, but it was important. You didn't want to say like, oh, I can get this guy to play for this much. It was how much do you want? First of all, that's not enough. You're worth way more. And second, I can't give you that.
Yeah.
But you're the second person that really, you made it vocal. You wanted to give us what you really thought we were worth. And it's always more than what we asked to.
Yeah.
That's not normal. For everyone listening, that's not how it goes. If I want $1,000 a week, they go, cool, we can do $250. We can do 100. We're not going to go any further. That's how it goes. Very few people, exactly, put it that way. I want to pay you what you're worth.
Yeah.
That's not the norm.
No, maybe you're right. I never thought about it, but like what people want is the best deal. They want the best deal. They want the best deal because they want to run it like a business. Not thinking that the best deal long term is that everyone is valued. And here's the thing. I didn't think about it until you just said it, but it also makes sense in terms of a lot. You want to talk about a business strategy or anything like that, business shit? I know for a fact if I had conducted myself differently at the beginning of our relationship, you would not be working with me this way now, right? Because we have trust and because we have history and transparency.
Right. You quickly changed lanes. You were no longer a client. You became a brother.
Yeah, and I was like, look, if I can aim to pay you what, if I can aim to pay you what I think you're worth, then because money comes and money goes and it ebbs and flows. I know for a fact there will come a time when I'll have the opportunity to do something and I can't pay you your worth. You will have a good run. I'll pay you good. And then there'll be a lean year and I'll be like, dude, I've got this thing that I could do. I want you to come with me and do it, but I can't pay you, I can pay you less, but da-da-da. If I've been fucking trying to price gouge you and I've been trying to like undercut you for the last couple of years, you're going to be like, nah, man, I'm out. Yeah. Whereas if we've been kind to each other, you'd be like, yeah, man, we can make that work. And I knew that was going to be the case when like the thing that was different is, when I spoke to Keenan, right? Keenan was the first drummer in my solo project, who has a wife and 2 kids. At the time, had 1 kid. Second kid was announced after 4 months, 5 months. And after he had his second kid,
he played a handful of shows and done some tours.
Yeah, so he came out and I got on the phone with him and he was recommended by Jayme, and I got on the phone and I said, hey man, Jayme had already sent him some stuff, so he knew of me. And he was like, yeah, man, I've heard of your band. And I said, cool, I can't pay you. If that's going to be an issue, I totally respect that this is your job. If you'd like to continue talking about what I can offer you, let's keep talking. But I can pretty much guarantee you I'm not going to be able to pay you what you're worth at the moment, but I'd like to be getting to the point soon where I can. So do you want to talk? And he was like, yeah, man, let's talk. So then he came out and we made an arrangement. He had his second kid and he called me and he was like, hey man, my situation's changed. That original agreement doesn't cut it for me anymore. I gotta bounce until you can pay me more. And I'm like, totally cool. Good. We're still fucking great friends. And we have that relationship now because we set it up that way. When I called Pow, I'm like, hey man, I can't pay you. Then what I mean is I can't pay you your worth. So if you're looking at like, hey, Shim's a rock star, I'm going to make $2,000 a week. No, I'm not. I can't pay you that. This is an indie project now. Powell was like, I'm cool, man. His exact words were, if I can choose, I'd like a window seat. Like that's the only thing. Can I choose a window seat? And I'm like,
easy.
He's like, he'll live on crackers as long as he can play guitar and be around cool guys and have a good time. He was like, that was the thing that sold me on him. Yep. I was like, even if you couldn't play guitar, I'll wait because you're dope. And then when I spoke to Jayme, it turned into, hey man, I can't pay you. And you're like, okay, well, can you pay me this? I'm like, no, I can't pay you that. And then I remember you telling me, well, what responsibilities can you put on my plate so you can save money so you can pay me that? And that was when I was like, oh, his brain, these are the people I need to work with. This is where the action is. And I was like, well, if I didn't have to pay a tour manager and a driver, then I'd have a lot more money freed up. He was like, cool, I can tour manage. I've done that before, and obviously I can drive. So how about we meet in the middle? And I'm like, yeah. And then it was like, cool. So he literally had a little pen and a pad, and he was like, so tour management, I'm going to need to get stage plot. Yep. So it's going to be stage manager.
Stage plot? Yep. What's that? Plot. Show writer? Writer with a T or a D? Yeah. Writer. Yeah. Interesting.
And that was when I was like, and it's funny because he was like, yeah, I've totally tour managed before and da-da-da. So just tell me what you would want from a tour manager. And I was like, well, you're going to want
Oh, I knew you knew I was full of shit.
Yeah, you were so full of shit. You were like, so I'm going to need to get a tour. I'm going to need to get an education on tour managing. I'm going to have to get a writer and a stage plot. It was like, yeah, what sort of stage plot? And I was like, a stage plot is a over the view thing, stage left, right. It's like, stage plot. They don't need plot. Yeah. But it was like, and then we ran with it. I think I called you over the weekend, and you were like, yeah, I've got it. I called a couple of people, got it down, good to go, and then we were off and running. And that's kind of how the whole fucking thing started. But I think that's I don't know what the point is that we were coming around to, but it's nice to reminisce. But that sense of value, musicians understand the value of what we do, and we also understand where the real value is. And so there are times when you'll try to get more out of someone, or you'll try to re-incentivize on different things. And if you're smart, like a record label or whatever will come and go. Like I remember when we were on Capitol, and we had the album Connect. And Connect was this dope fucking song, right? The song Connect. But it was poppy. Now, we had on Tripolar, we had 2 rock singles, and then Maybe was the third one, which blew up on pop radio and Hot AC. So Connect was like, cool, this will be the Maybe of that record. We'll release it as a third single. So we released the first single, which did okay. Then we released the second single, which did not do okay. But the only reason that we agreed to release the second single the way that they wanted to release it, and we couldn't really disagree. They could have really done whatever they wanted. But the reason that we didn't kick up a stink was because we said, okay, they want to release this other single as a second single, and we think we should go to Connect. We should just go straight to the pop song. And regardless of what you think is going to work, the label went, no, we're going to release Gunfight. And so we went, okay, will you guarantee, we'll support this and we'll tour it and we'll do our thing, but will you guarantee that you will put a significant amount of money and push into Connect, because that's the song that's going to cross back over and put us on the map again? And everyone who we spoke to at the label was like, yeah, we guarantee it. But it's not written down anywhere. No, it's not written down anywhere. It's like, yeah, of course. Connect's a great song. Everyone's thought it's the title track off the album. It's going to be great. We'll totally, we'll make a great big video and we'll do all this stuff. And it didn't fucking happen. And it's like, if you didn't know any better and someone from a label goes, oh, of course, you'd be like, okay, cool. Well, in that case, let's go and do what we talked about. Let's go and do this thing.
And what's fucked up is anyone who's listening right now and hears that, they're, oh, that's terrible. No musician react. They're like, well, yeah, of course they did.
Yeah.
So that video that you posted about like what happened with the puppies. I mean, you and I remember you telling me those stories years ago, and being like, yeah, of course, that's how every band breaks up. Yeah. That story's not special to you. That's how it always goes. Like this is how this business is. It's a shitty business. And everyone gets screwed. It's just how it goes. That's what it is. And for some reason, we keep coming back and saying, thank you, do it again. We're sick. We have a problem, man.
Yeah, but like it's the interesting thing where when you're a session musician and you keep, is it different when you're a session musician and you're like naming your value as a session muso, considering that like you must never have someone come up and say, okay, the rate that you want is $2,000 a week. Yeah, sure, we got that. Do you have anyone that like actually, or do they all say, well, we can give you 500 a week? And then they start bullshitting about hotel rooms and travel expenses.
With big acts, yes, and also no. I believe Beyonce has a terrible reputation. Pretty sure everyone in her band gets like $200 or $300 a show.
Really?
Beyonce. Now,
but you know why? You know why?
Does she have?
Because they want it on their resume.
Sure. Well, exactly. Yeah. She's doing you a favor by letting you play with her. Or they're doing you a favor by making you sound good. I don't know. It could go either way on that argument, I guess. But I mean, yeah, most people, if you're playing like stadium level tours, $400 or $500 a show, pretty normal. 4 shows a week, half rate for travel days and quarter rate for day off. I don't know. That'd be my starting contract, I guess. Or if they just like, let's just call it $2,000 a week, and it's going to be 5 weeks. That's another thing, like $2,000 a week. Oh, that's good. That's 5 weeks out of 52.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not like every week for the whole year. That's not 8,000. However much that. No, that's just 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's $10,000. And the other thing you don't take into consideration is when you come back into town, you don't have any connections anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you do, but they moved on.
Yeah.
Right? They called me 5 weeks ago. I'm not back until, 6 weeks from now. They found someone else. They called him 2 more times while I was gone, or her. You know what I mean? Like, so the road guys, they get stuck doing the road because while you're gone, all your work left. So you get home, what do? You start calling, hey, any tours, any of this? Oh, cool. Yeah, I can head out next week. And then you just go do it again and again and again and again. And that's what I keep saying is that was always in my back pocket. It was always an option. At least I can always go and do that.
Now that's going. There's a guy actually who's what is it? Marcel Power Play Band. Montreal are here. Musicians are hurting here also, just waiting for our casinos for the green light to start playing again. Not holding my breath though. Dude, if you hold your breath, you're going to die.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, we've all, I think of anything that could be like irrevocably true right now is that standing still is not the option. You've got to try to be ahead of the curve and try to figure out what's coming next. No matter what your industry is, whether it's music, I don't know, whatever it is that you do.
You know what I think the hardest thing about this whole situation on a human scale is that everyone has to be really honest with themselves now. They really have to be honest with like you, for example. You're like, well, I had these plans. Like John McClane had plans. All these people you have all these plans. And that whole concept of life is what happens while you're busy making other plans and God's laughing at you the whole time. And if you are like, well, I'd always kind of considered the fact that I might be willing to go back to digging ditches, but some serious shit would have to happen. Well, some serious shit's happened.
Has happened, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, now there's this mental ego push and pull, which is like, the reason that you didn't go back to that sort of stuff was because you're like, no, I'm going to fight the good fight. And if I've got 2 pennies to fucking rub together, I'm going to make it work. And most people aren't as sadistic as me, where they're like, I'll wait until I'm in the hospital till I finally wake up and go, oh, maybe I should have stopped. But like the fact of every business that you're in, the procrastination is the standing still. The procrastination of, well, I have to do this. This is what I do. This is who I am. Is it really who you are, or is it just what you're doing right now? Mm-hmm. And because at the end of the day, you will change. If you're like, I'm putting my foot down and I'm standing still, and someone releases a tiger in the house, you'll fucking move. Like everyone has a fucking limit.
Yeah. right?
Like you can't say like, well, no, this is who I am. I'm the man who puts his foot down, and I'm not going to compromise on the. Everyone has a price. Everyone has a thing, but people's line, they're having to cross their own line. The lines that they drew in the sand. They're like, well, who am I really? It's not who did I think I am? Who am I now? Who am I really? Not who do I want to be in 10 years or 1 year, or who am I in a year? Who am I manifesting and projecting? Who the fuck are you for real? What are you really capable of? What are you really going to do? Because everyone's in the same boat. Everyone.
And that's the only reason why, again, if it ends up that I do need to leave the world of professional music, I don't feel bad. There's nothing I did to screw this up. Yeah, it's not my fault.
That's it. So, it's not my fault. I feel like everyone needs to watch.
It doesn't make me feel like it's like nothing, like it doesn't heal the wound, but it doesn't. That part doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
You know.
Everyone needs to watch Good Will Hunting.
There you go. That'll make it work.
That'll do it.
Honestly, it's another reason why I did post that publicly on my Instagram, because I wanted to hear from my musicians.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to let all of the non-musicians to let them know, like, how do you think we make money? Do you think that YouTube pays us enough? They don't. Do you think Spotify pays us enough? No. I have 70, 80,000 people worldwide across all my platforms that really like what I do. So why is it that only 10 of you are paying me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where do you think I'm getting my money? Do you think it's from YouTube and Spotify and like these places? Like, they give you 0.00000.
Can someone throw up the Patreon in the chat right now, by the way, just since we're talking about it?
I'll do it. Hold on. Patreon. There you go. Click on that shit.
Thanks, man.
But you know what I mean? Like, I want my fan base to know, like, the reason I can't do this, because I'm not supported. And if you claim to like what I do, why are you not supporting it? I mean, I know these names. I recognize them. I've seen them in the comments. I've seen you for years. You're not on my Patreon. You're not on Twitch, and you're not a member at thebasis.net.
Okay.
You just like free
I think
because
that's a good question for the chat room right now. Okay, and I'm going to throw it out to for anyone who's on Facebook watching that has decided not to come over to Twitch. You can feel free to stay there for the moment, because I know that if you don't have a Twitch account, you can't log in. However, if you do have an Amazon Prime account, you can go to Twitch and you get free stuff when you use your Amazon Prime account with Twitch Prime. But I'm curious. And there's no accountability, no repercussions here. It's just a genuine question. Feed us so that we can have research, right? Call it research testing, all right? How many people...
R&D. Huh? Research and development.
Research and development. How many people who are in the chat right now feel like when the time comes to act, and we're not fishing for money. We're not fishing for money at this time.
No, not at all.
I'll do that later.
You'll know. It'll be obvious.
But how many people who are consumers of music watching this right now feel like it really does take a lot to get to the point where you push, okay, approve the credit card thing. Sign up to a Patreon, sign up to a thing, or buy an album, or buy whatever. Like, not a t-shirt. We're talking about like to download a song, or to subscribe to a stream, to give money to someone to support them, whether it's for a podcast. There's all these ways that you could support people. And I find, for me, I'm guilty of it. I'm going to throw myself on the chopping block. I don't support many of the people who I consume their content. I support some of them, but I think most people have like 5, 6 people who they really are like, okay, this is my jam. I'm going to support this. I got my Netflix subscription, my Amazon, and I've got like 5 people who I subscribe to on Twitch or on Patreon or whatever, and I feel like I'm a part of that little community, and that's their thing. So we've got how many people actually find it hard to give money to people who do what we do. So let's see. Project Zero, I have Amazon Prime and I still pay for the sub to the Rebellion. Thank you very much. Stanky Pete, I need the music, so I support it as much as I can. As you know, that is true, Stanky. I know you have supported the Rebellion probably more than anyone financially almost by now. Tasha, hey Shim, hey Tasha, hail to the king. I don't think it's hard as long as they have impacted me in a good way. I totally subscribe and buy their art. Thank you. Jill Shock, like iTunes? whatever your jam is. You're downloading music, any way that you can financially support an artist, you know, considering that shows are cancelled. Because what used to happen is you would have a transaction and you would go and you would get your show. So you get something for your money. Now, you couldn't get in the door if you didn't pay for your ticket. So you can't get access. Access to this, you're watching this now for free. So it makes sense that everyone's kind of like, well, it's free. It's like you're walking down the street and you see a billboard going flashy flash. You're not paying for that. Why would you suddenly throw money at that? If you got something of value from it, you'd go, oh, that's a nice bonus that I got something of value from this free stream. And people are used to supporting gaming streamers because there's a thing that's been there's a trend. It's been trended for 10 years that's what they do. Whereas with music, it's kind of being birthed now. Live streaming, music production, shows, cover shows, any of that sort of stuff. This year is when this whole thing began. So what else have we got? Hold on a second. I try to support when I can. Thank you, Tisha. And this is keeping in mind that we know most people don't even have the money to do it, right? We're not like, that's the thing that I think a lot of people are like, well, I'm struggling. I had some people come in the stream. I'm struggling too. I can't afford to pay my rent. Then don't give me your money. Don't fucking, just watch the stream for free. We're talking about when you subscribe to the Patreon, you get stuff for it. You get things that we put time and energy into. This is kind of an ad. Like what we do, half of this stuff is more of an ad for the stuff that you can pay for. So, but what does it take to actually get you to the point where you're gonna go, I value this. I want that extra cool stuff. Now there's a value on it. I'm gonna give it value and pay for it, and I want to have it, like you would when you go and buy a fucking sandwich or you pay your bills or your rent. So we're getting good stuff in here. Hold on a second. Let me read these out. When you were with the puppies, I went to every show. Thank you very much. It's difficult when money's tight, but when someone's music has affected you deeply in the way yours, it makes it so much easier. Thank you, Kyle. I just subbed to Shim's Patreon and I subscribe to his Twitch. A big fan, so whatever I can do. Thank you, Louis. My man, Louis, a brand new fucking solid rebel. Some artists are bad at promoting their art. That's true. We were talking about that earlier. Some artists don't pay any attention to it. I'd pay for what you guys are doing. Thank you very much, Marcel. Disco Cobra. Here we go. To be honest, over the past 5 years, I can already tell it's going to be a good answer. Disco Cobra. Over the past 5 years, I've grown to appreciate music a lot more. I've learned that artists do not get enough money to do this, especially the independent artists. Not hard for me to donate to pay money for their art, but a decent product. Make a decent product and I'll pay you for it. Give and take, I suppose. Like with streamers and other artists like you, as far as I'm concerned, you make good content, so I'm more than willing to pay you when I can do so. That's pretty much the attitude that you would want most people to have, right? You would want them to have that attitude and then actually follow through and say, yeah, I'm going to pay for this thing. And then Blue Sean, I want to know how you redeemed 100 points to highlight year. I got to figure that shit out. Nice. For me personally, it's whenever Okay. For me personally, it's whenever they make is personal or life-changing. So it has to be life-changing to get your money. Okay. So then let's be real. Let's fucking talk about it. Come on, let's actually have a conversation instead of fucking hiding from this shit.
This is real.
Example, Shim talked to me about music stuff and I got that one-on-one, so I donated money to Shim because he helped me understand stuff. But life-changing stuff, I've gone to local shows and given more than $100 just to have all their stuff, and even though I didn't use it all the time, I gave it to friends. If you love and support it because you paid them for that service.
And that $100 got them to the next city.
Yeah.
Guarantee you.
Yeah, that $100 makes a difference.
That was gas money. They weren't going to make it without your $100. No. I can almost guarantee you that.
Yeah. And here's a good one. It depends on how much I get back. It depends on how much I got back to artists. Like if I stream them a lot, then I'll subscribe. So it matters how much you get from the artist. So you'll support them if you're really absorbing a lot of their stream, if you're watching and consuming a lot of their content, which is also fair enough. I mean, I do pay to be part of the community, and it does give me a place to see what I want and relate to a lot of your music. But the question is, do you find it difficult to actually pay for stuff produced by people who do what we do? The question
hold on here. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that I'm reading another comment, this one from Stanky Pete, and at the end, it says, it bothers me to think that you guys would stop creating. And to be honest, that's one of the reasons I want to have this conversation publicly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the only one thinking these thoughts. there's hundreds of thousands of us,
Yeah.
millions probably throughout the world that are going, should I keep doing this? Because it's not looking very good. I don't know. Let's see. But I don't think enough people are thinking like, oh yeah, what if Shim just stopped? What if I did? I mean, like, well, it would be like it was 5 years ago before when the band broke up and you weren't doing anything. But like across the board, you know, I mean, like it's, what would it be like if creators stopped creating? Someone's always going to, but who's it going to be when your favorites are gone? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that is a very real.
Well, okay. So here's the thing, right? Now we're flipping it to the other side of the question. As you were talking, I'm thinking about this, all right? And I'm interested in everyone in the chat, everyone's opinions on this, all right? If people want content, right? So if you can't find, like I've had a lot of people that have come up to me in the last year and they've been like, so glad you're back. Love the puppy stuff. So glad you're back. I never went anywhere. I've always been making music.
Yeah.
I'll do shows when I can. Right.
I didn't leave, guys.
I've just been struggling a lot. But I never left. But they're like, so glad that you're back. Well, and my question was, well, what were you doing that you missed?
Where did you go?
I've been putting shit out. I've been like, I released an album, 2 videos, you know, did a bunch of big festivals that were in front of thousands of people and made videos, and like they were watching other stuff. They were doing other stuff. People find other stuff to do. So I have like the Hollywood Rebellion right now. People who value what I do, that make it a point to follow what I do because they value what I do. They believe there's a lot of value in what I do, and they give me feedback and they say this helps me, inspires me. It's my favorite music, all that sort of stuff. So there is a massive responsibility on the creator to say, all right, well, it's not necessarily up to the consumer to just go, oh, I'm going to immediately, automatically empathize with your plight and give you money because I'm supposed to immediately understand how hard it is for you. There's also 50% of it is, well, as the creator, you better make compelling stuff to make people want to follow you. Then the other part of your job is, like someone mentioned it in the thing before. To be completely honest, I never would have followed you without hearing you're going down. And there you go. That song was a massive hit that was put out publicly, right? That was the biggest hit the band ever had.
But like what you were just saying about like, you've got to do something pretty big to warrant support.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing. Again, I've been doing this for decades. And I got an email this morning from a guy in Finland, Norway, somewhere, Scandinavia. And I think I was even telling you about this before we went live, but like no, I was telling this to Ben, just kidding. So he sent me an email this morning. He's like, my doctor told me he's having health problems. So he's like, I need to go out and exercise every day. And he's like, I hate podcasts. I've never been into it. So I downloaded the podcasting app and I typed in bass. And your show showed up. And he's like, I've been listening to your podcast. Like I have 100 episodes. Each episode is about 3.5 hours long, guys. This dude's powering through my show. And he just sent me a message like, dude, it's been so great. The information, like whatever it is, sent me this long email about how his life has been blessed in a time that was difficult for him. And he found the podcast and he's loving it. And I get emails like that all the time. What I do, and
what you don't get is his money.
That's
what you were going to say.
That makes me feel so good that people have been impacted that, and I'm sure you've heard it too, right? But at the same time, I look at my Patreon, I look at these places, and I'm like, I don't see, like, not even on the $2 tier. I don't even see your name on that one.
Right.
And in the podcast, I talk about the Patreon. I talk about ways you can get it. Like he knows about the basis.net. Of course, if he's listened to 100 episodes, he knows about what I'm doing. Yeah. So you love it enough. It's changed your life and you needed to tell me about it. But you couldn't even kick $2? You couldn't even do that. Like,
well, I think
there's a disconnect.
Yeah, well, there's a disconnect, but that's why I wanted to ask the chat, ask the people who are watching right now, what is a consumer in today's day and age? And this is why people don't ask it. You talk to anyone who works in our business, and they're like, well, you got to put up Facebook ads, and you got to tell people that your album is out now. And it's like, well, if it was out now and anyone cared, they'd already know because they follow your shit. And if they don't know, they don't care that your album's out now. So what the fuck are you doing? But what does it actually take to make people go, here's my money? What does it take? Like, what does it actually take? I've been lucky that like I've kind of cracked the code for my stuff on certain things. I've cracked the surface of the code in being able to go, okay, cool. I'm going to do all of this stuff. And we're talking about music. And I think it's interesting. The only reason that this is interesting for people who are watching, who are consumers, is because we're talking about your side of the equation. This is a 50-50. This is a transactional conversation. We're talking about your involvement in what we do. You know, and so if you're not interested, then go and watch any of the other millions of pieces of content that are available on every other possible thing. But what does it actually take to get what do you want? What is it that you want that makes you go, that's what I want, here's money? Because this is our profession. I'm going to go back up and read a couple of these posts. There was a few people that wrote nice long ones.
Merch. There you go.
What is it?
Someone said candle merch.
Candle merch. You want a Hollywood Rebellion candle? I'll make it for you.
Let's do it.
I know streaming payout blows. A lot of artists rely on touring money. I usually do 30 concerts a year at least. So since I can't go, I've been supporting with that. It bothers me to think that you guys would stop creating. Oh, we've read that one. As much as I can support an artist, I'm a fan of, whether that's subscribing, buying music. I love supporting as much as I can. I think one of the main thing is, if you do get support from people, you need to appreciate them. You know, if someone supports your that's a big difference. That's a big deal, because that's something that people are willing.
Well, again, the beautiful, heart-touching emails are great, and it made my morning for sure. But it doesn't help me pay my mortgage.
Yeah,
I can't send those into the bank, and they'll be like, all right, we'll waive this month. Like, when push comes to shove, you gotta support.
Curly Valentine said, I got my college degree in music industry studies. The first thing that we thought is, we won't make money unless we exploit your music, and your connections will make you money, like Beyonce. It's difficult for sure, but it's a toss-up between bad habits and supporting the people who inspire me to have more of a backbone. What is that? Are people who supporting the people who inspire me to have more of a backbone, which goes back to, you got to make seriously high value quality shit. I would not be able to deal with hearing Shim's with not hearing Shim's voice. That's very sweet. Thank you, Tesha. Too many moments that I needed something to just bring me out of that funk. I noticed that you're not subscribed to the channel, Tasha.
He's calling you out.
I'm just fucking with you, Tasha. I'm just fucking with you, Tasha. To be sick puppies, that would be. Wait a minute. Need something to bring me out of that funk. It always seemed to be sick puppies that would go pop on for me at those times, whether it would be on the radio or if it popped on a CD. Yes, I will support you anyway without putting myself or my family out, of course. All I do want to say is thank you. Thank you very much. Angel Soulful, people don't want to think like that because it's very depressing, but you are 100% correct, Jayme. This is the thing. Jayme's 100% correct because he's been living this life for over, fucking 20 years now? 15 years? But you don't talk about it. The reason you don't talk about it, I think, is because especially if you don't word it correctly, people think you're a prick. They're like, who are you?
I just got done saying you need to give me money in order for me to keep doing this. How dare you?
Yeah.
I mean, but again, I'm just telling it like it is.
Yeah.
If you want to have those life-changing
and if you don't want to hear it, then you should get off the stream. Like, you're more than welcome to leave. I want to
help you with those life-changing experiences. Yeah. You've got to help me with mine. That's how this works. It doesn't. We can't do it any other way. And Shim, I'm real sorry. I've got to cut this. Sarah gave me the go ahead. I've got to duck out of here.
Cool,
but
man.
I mean, that's just. I just, not just with you, but I want.
Alien, can we line up a raid, please, brother? Yeah, go ahead.
What?
I was talking to Alien.
I just want to I want this conversation to get out there because I want musicians and entertainers, again, dancers, any type of live performance.
Anyone who's taking a hit, yeah.
Yeah, I want people to know how bad of a hit, how badly we've been hit. You know, and I don't think the general public is aware of it, and that's not to scam anyone into getting to start writing checks or, again, it's nothing like that. I want everyone to see where the wind is, just see where things are blowing right now, and be aware because it could get better. it could be possible. It could be possible to get better. All is not lost.
I'd like to think that we're going to wrap it up. I think ultimately there is more emphasis on the artist and the creator having to evolve at a rapid rate so that they can create something, they can deliver to people, so that people go, okay, this is what you're selling now. It's not a ticket, it's not a t-shirt, it's this. And then as long as you provide it to them in an inspiring and interesting way, then that's good. But 50% of it is the brain matter of the artist, and the creator has to evolve, and the consumer has to evolve as well to go, oh, well, music's been free for over a decade. Now I actually won't get any new music if I don't change how I'm consuming things. That's going to be the harder thing to switch, because there is so much free content. You know? But that's Anyway, it's great talking to you, mate.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. We were supposed to make music today, but this was more fitting.
Yeah. This turned into an interesting conversation, but we'll make music next week.
Okay.
At least for as long as you're continuing to make music.
We got time, bro. We got time. I'm not going anywhere.
All right, brother. All right, I love you, man. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Love you too, man.
Right.
Take care, everyone. Thanks.
All right. That's a bad shot to be left on. So, let me see here. What else have we got? I will admit that I'm guilty of it myself. I find it easier to support people that I've had a personal connection with, but I do to try to support where I can. Yeah, that makes sense, man. I do what I can for who I can, when I can, and feel bad when I can't. That's a great thing to say, except for the last sentence. You shouldn't feel bad when you can't, as long as you're doing as much as you can. And you don't owe anyone anything. We're just talking about our side of the situation. That's all it is. We're just talking about our side of the situation. Oh, look at that. Look at all those pop-ups. That's funny. They pop up now. Weird thing about me is when I love something hard enough, I never stop wanting to support it or follow. Includes all sort of entertainment. I've followed Sick Puppy since 2009. When Shim left it, I followed him. Thank you very much, Disco. Still think puppies are okay, but I'm not sure if I want to keep reading that. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to risk saying anything that's negative about the band right now, but I appreciate you for supporting me. I have to tell you, Shim, I met you at the Spa Day in Dallas at the American Airlines Center when Nickelback was headlining. I gave you an arm massage and spent time talking to you. My daughter and I then went to another show when you came back to Dallas, and I spoke to us outside. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't know you guys' music. Love your music because of you, not the genre. Thank you very much. So personal interaction can make a difference for someone to buy your music. Thank you very much. I think I remember that. I had an injury or something. I was starting to get tendonitis. Yay, merch. I cannot figure out how to hook up with my Amazon Prime. Does anyone have, Alien, do we have that thing, a bot that how to hook up the Amazon Prime? We've got to put I've got to make a video on the directions. I've got to get onto that stuff next. Gotta do that stuff next. Now that we're alone, Shim, ha ha ha. Excellent. All right, let's see. You don't know the command if we do. That's all good. Someone who would love to be a musician, I recognize that it's hard struggle to promote yourself and get people to buy into your brand, which sucks. And streaming music has kind of killed the artist because it became the middleman between artist and fans and is taking the money. Oh yeah, Prime, you did it. Good work, Alien. Thank you very much. There you go. If you click that link, you can figure out how to connect your Amazon Prime account. There you go. As someone who wanted to do art and music, my mother told me while I was telling her, she said, but you'll never make any money. As if I do now. Not only that, but my job is pretty stressful. It sucks. To make money off a hobby would be nice, even if I'm still broke. As I am now, I would have reached more than I expected to be the point. That took me to Amazon Prime Gaming. Fuck, how do we do this? All right, please, Tisha, here's what you need to do. Everyone who is watching who hasn't already done it, hit the follow and the notifications, and I'm going to put together, they changed the name. Oh, so Amazon Gaming, it's the same fucking thing. Just go ahead and fill in and sign up for it. It's all the same thing. It's not the money. I want the time to do it, essentially. Yeah, I get you, man. Prime gaming is regular Prime. Then why didn't they call it regular Prime? Why they got to go changing shit? Especially now, we're trying to fucking figure things out. Fucking bullshit. Well, look, Alien, can we set up a raid, brother? Let's raid Joe. I think Joe's live and we haven't talked to him for a while. Him and I haven't talked in like 3 weeks. We've got to do some shit. I got really sick 2 days ago. So my branding, we'll talk about it, Louis. Trust me, there's going to be a whole bunch of conversations about that soon enough. So I'm not going to be I may do some guitars later today, but I've been really sick the last 2 days, like can't get out of bed sort of sick. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it, but I wanted to at least visit and say hi and say thank you for all the kind words and support over the last few days, and just be here and be present. The lockdown session will definitely go forward regardless of what we're doing exactly, but I should be, I'm going to try to do some guitars later today, and then we're going to try to do some more stuff tomorrow and the following day. When people are relatable and show that they are a human side and not just rock stars, I think people open up to them a lot more. I agree. That's why I've tried to not be a rock star. Lady Gray, thank you very much. All right, guys. I think that we need. There's new music for everyone who's been asking. There is new stuff up on the Patreon from the top of the month, but I'm going to be putting a couple of the songs that we worked on last month. They're going to be going up on the Patreon in a week or so. We're going to finish them here, and then we're going to be putting them up. And you've created something great here, and I look forward to it every week. Would love to see you live again, but this is the next best thing. Thank you very much, mate. And as soon as I get better again, I'd like to start doing some more live learns and cover stuff. Just getting through a couple of things right now. So I'm going to set. Can we set up the raid, Alien, for Joe? And I'm going to go and take care of some business, which is boring. But kind of go take care of it, and then come back and hopefully get back to doing what I love to do, which is just make fucking music, for Christ's sake. Hey, Jericho, my man, thanks for the follow, man. Everyone here, if you haven't hit the follow button, please make sure you hit the follow button. Go ahead and hit it right now. Hit the follow, and you don't need to hit the sub button, but you can hit the follow button so that you know when we're going to be back. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right. Much love. Stay fearless.